Hello. I'm here actively engaging in a bit of physical exercise to stay fit and healthy. Traveling across the vast and arid desert region of Israel. Today, I would like to take you on a journey to explore an absolutely incredible place. Incredible? We see it referenced in the scriptures under the name of the Eastern Sea. The vast ocean, often referred to as the sea, also appears in the form of salt water. Known more today by the widely recognized term Dead Sea, a notable place for open discussions about death. It actively collaborates with and contributes significantly to the essence of life, a location rich in significant biblical history. In the southern region of the land, there was once a place known as Sodom and Gomorrah. In the northern region of the area, you can find the Jordan River. There is an incredible amount that we can learn today together. We will explore it mainly from biblical, historical, and archaeological perspectives. There is a significant biblical prophecy that I want to share with you. Yes, a significant biblical prophecy is indeed being fulfilled today, right before our very eyes at the remarkable Dead Sea. Let's explore and understand it beyond just the perspective of tourism. Visitors come here to relax and unwind in its soothing waters. There is so much more valuable information that we can learn here. So don't miss today's episode because I believe it will be quite revealing. And it is going to be very interesting for those who love Israel and the land of the Bible. Get comfortable as we embark on an exciting journey to explore the fascinating Dead Sea area together. Let's go there! I'm almost feeling a bit dizzy from all these winding curves, and my ears still haven't popped yet from the altitude change. His ears often become blocked during the descent. Keep in mind that we need to descend several meters beneath the surface of the sea to reach our destination. At one point during our journey, we could find ourselves sinking to an astonishing depth of 417 meters below sea level. To enjoy chewing gum here, you must first buy a pack, as the act of chewing contributes to the overall refreshing experience. This will effectively help prevent an individual's ears from becoming blocked. We are planning to arrive shortly at the area known as Embokek. Embokek is the place where the luxurious hotels of the Dead Sea area are primarily located. We're just going to take a brief look around because we genuinely want to venture beyond and escape the crowded tourist area to explore something more authentic and unique, and to discover some intriguing insights about what remains unknown in the fascinating world of tourism. So let's continue our journey, let's move forward together as we have a lot to learn today. The Dead Sea, in Hebrew Yam HaMelech. This is a salt lake bordered by two countries, with Jordan to the west and Israel to the east. The area is at the foot of the Jordan Valley, with the Jordan River as its main tributary. The lake's surface lies at 430.5 meters below sea level, making its shores the lowest land elevation on Earth. The deepest hypersaline lake in the world, boasting a salinity that is 7 to 9.6 times saltier than the ocean, makes swimming feel remarkably like floating effortlessly. High salinity levels make it impossible for plants, trees, and fish to survive. The Dead Sea is its more commonly known name. It is 50 kilometers long and 15 kilometers at its widest point. The Dead Sea has attracted visitors from across the Mediterranean basin for thousands of years. One of the first resorts for Herod the Great, it has supplied a diverse range of products. Asphalt has been used since ancient Egypt for mummification and is now a source of potash for fertilizers. Nowadays, tourists visit the sea along the coasts of both Israel and Jordan. The Dead Sea, in turn, is rapidly receding, which means it is gradually drying up significantly. The Dead Sea's recession is causing serious environmental and economic issues. leading to proposals for channels and pipelines to address this decline. There are three distinct ways to reach the beautiful Dead Sea. From Israeli territory, located near the bustling city of Tel Aviv, it takes approximately 2 hours to reach the deepest part of the beautiful land. If you travel from Jerusalem, it will take approximately 40 minutes to reach Eilat by passing through the scenic Jericho area. It will be approximately 2.5 hours. We decided to embark on an exciting journey to explore a unique and beautiful location on Earth, traveling from the stunning south to the breathtaking north. As we were driving along in the car, I was overwhelmed, not precisely with nostalgia, but rather with a feeling akin to it. It's difficult to articulate exactly how I felt. I found myself drifting back to memories from the past, specifically a few years ago, nearly 20 years ago, to be exact, in what was my very first job experience while living in Israel. Take a moment to look closely. Right there behind me, you can see that hotel, the one located just behind me right there. That was my very first job experience while living in Israel. I remember that I had to go down from the city where we lived. Go down means I was up high. We had to go down from the city where we lived every day, a path of more than half an hour. It was descending rapidly, going down, and then gradually rising back up those many meters below sea level, above sea level. And it was in this exact place, which I clearly recall, I remember leaving this hotel where the kind gentleman gifted me the beautiful Hebrew language. From the quiet of night to the bright light of morning, we traveled in a garbage boat. Just as you heard it, it was found in a trash can. The testimony is over there. It's also in one of the videos. Perhaps we will leave it in this spot somewhere in the video, so you can truly witness that incredible experience and miraculous event that the Lord performed. He can do it with anyone, just like me. Remember, the Lord is still actively performing miracles even to this very day. But well, let's not lose sight of things. It was simply a reminder, and I remembered a little when I was here in these lands. Let's continue our exploration of the fascinating Dead Sea region, here at this unique and serene place known as Ombokeke. Let's go. Allow me to take a moment to show you just a tiny glimpse of the beautiful spa area that the hotels by the stunning Dead Sea have to offer here. As you can clearly see, we are going to make a left turn here. There are the hotels. There is so much more hidden behind that large tree over there. There are countless others. But these are similar to those that originate in the southern region of the Dead Sea area, where unique geological features can be found. Simply cross the path ahead and you will find yourself standing right here beside the beautiful water area, enjoying the scenic view. Now, it is important to note that, in this particular case, the water we are referring to is indeed hot water. The water temperature is not suitable for comfortable or enjoyable activities such as bathing, swimming, or diving, making those experiences unappealing. It's not that kind of water. Here is a body of water that is 7 times saltier than typical ocean seawater found in the world's oceans. The salinization in this area is incredibly strong and intense. The tourism sector in hotels primarily focuses on skincare and healthcare, effectively attracting individuals seeking relaxation, rejuvenation, and overall wellness through a variety of specialized services. Here come the individuals who are experiencing various problems. There is a problem with the skin. Psoriasis. All these kinds of problems, right? For instance, we are specifically addressing various types of skin blemishes and imperfections. Individuals with vitiligo. Individuals who experience various types of skin issues and concerns. Then they arrive to receive treatment here in the renowned Dead Sea area. Regardless of that, there are also people, for example, who suffer from diabetes. So they also travel here specifically to receive medical treatment in the Dead Sea area. That is to say, it is a type of tourism, as they call it, marpe, in the Hebrew language. It wouldn't be accurately termed medical tourism. I think the most precise word to use in this context would be, as I mentioned earlier, the water is indeed saline, yet it also has an oily texture. And that is precisely what creates this captivating floating effect. That is to say, where people enter the water, the process of floating automatically begins. They float? All right, let's take a moment to explore this. Here I'm going to show you people who are magically floating in the air. We have decided that we will not be going into the water today, but instead we will show you the people who are present here, taking pleasure in a refreshing dip in the cool sea. Well, as I previously mentioned, we came here to share our knowledge or teach others what we truly wanted to convey and impart. It's truly enjoyable to be in the vicinity of various hotels, refreshing water activities, and skin rejuvenation treatments and all that offers. But it is also good to learn from the area we are always in and visit. Generally, it is quite challenging to reach these remote and isolated places due to their difficult terrain. In fact, these locations are specifically places where access is not feasible for individuals who may have limitations or challenges related to walking and similar mobility issues, making it difficult for them to reach or enjoy these areas fully. Or certain limitations, remember that the temperature here is high. Generally, one typically visits for only a single day in the diverse and vibrant world of tourism. We are here specifically to try to bring you as much valuable information and support as we possibly can. And that you can learn a bit more fascinating information about the unique Dead Sea region and its surrounding area. Be mindful of the specific location where we are entering. Take a moment to look at this. I want to share with you an intriguing glimpse of the image we're observing. We are now entering. Go there in the distance, the distance, the distance. The hotels were left behind over there, far off in the distance, fading from view as we moved on. And we are now cautiously entering an area where one typically wouldn't find themselves on a regular day, highlighting the uniqueness of this moment and location. It's an area. Notice that it's not clean anymore. We were discussing cleanliness there, but it's no longer clean here. It's quite messy. Why? Because all the trash ends up in this place. Why did I come here? I wanted to show them the room's appearance. Look, over there we saw it was like a kind of icy hail falling from the sky. But what we're observing in this context is distinctly whiter than before. Look, everything in that place is white. All of that is salt. Just salt, nothing more and nothing less. As I move closer down here, you'll begin to notice a significantly greater amount of salt all around. And the salt that remains becomes stagnant and transforms into solid ground, into a firm floor. Take a look right here. This particular substance over here is actually rock salt. What you see here, this is rock salt. It's drying up here because the essential water no longer reaches this area. The water is still in contact here. If I put my finger in my mouth right now, I will taste salt for several days to come. And look, I want to show you here the effect of water. Take a closer look. It's actually quite good. However, notice how my hand now appears. It's slick and shiny because it's covered in oil. It's very oily. But honestly, it feels really good. My skin feels incredibly smooth and soft to the touch. Look, I just had another incredible experience with skin rejuvenation treatment again. There I have my skin again, feeling rejuvenated and refreshed, as if I just applied an incredible, nourishing cream. See what this is. The truth in its essence is a deeply fascinating and thought-provoking experience for everyone involved. And if we manage to get in here now, I can assure you that we will float, we will definitely float, we will indeed float. We're going to head a little bit up the trail towards the scenic mountain area nearby. Before this moment, let me point out that over there is Jordan, what used to be the ancient lands of Edom, rich in history. The Jordan River is specifically located in that geographical area. Up here, high above, is the historic city of Jerusalem. Masada, the fortress of Masada, well known to many, is also in that area. And this is Route 90, the famous and well-known route of the historic Way of the Kings, traveled by many throughout the ages. Remember that once Abraham traveled along this route, Be'er Sheva is located just over there in the distance, to embark on a journey to rescue his nephew Lot, who was located in the far northern region of Israel. Imbokwek is situated in the hotel area. To the south in that direction are the ancient ruins of the notorious cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. And if we continue, obviously nothing will be left of Sodom and Gomorrah. We'll create a video focused on that city. But if we continue, we will come across the southern city of Eilat. We made a video of Eilat. You can watch it somewhere around here where we will put it. And Egypt is already here. That is to say, if we cross the border, we are already in the Egyptian territory. Let's see if we can take a few pictures while enjoying this beautiful scenery. Look, what you see there, how should I call it? I don't quite know how to express it accurately in Spanish, honestly. However, it is an apparatus that effectively absorbs the water and subsequently returns it back to this location once more. The Dead Sea is divided into two sectors. On one side, we have the iconic Dead Sea, a unique natural wonder that is shared by the nation of Israel. The area is divided into two sectors, each bounded on two sides. On one side is Israel, that is to say, here is Israel, and on the other side is Jordan. If you closely examine the line that distinctly divides the country, which is essentially the geographical line marking where the official boundary is located, we will be able to clearly observe that the border of the vast sea is located almost exactly in the middle of our view. This means that on one side of the region, the Jordan area features the famous Dead Sea, or the Dead Sea is located beside Israel. Tourism is strongly encouraged in Jordan, the Dead Sea region, and more. Now, on Israel's side, the water began to dry up much faster. In other words, each year, there is an astonishingly significant amount of water loss occurring in the region surrounding the Dead Sea. I'm going to tell you what that setback generates. It's incredible what it's doing. But what Israel did was create a sort of communication channel. From the northern area down to the southern area, there exists a kind of water channel. And that channel was specifically designed to somehow balance the flow of water effectively and bring the water that was only remaining from the Jordanian territory. I was balancing it to ensure it stayed securely within Israel's territory. And that is one of the many gutters, specifically the ends of those gutters, where they manipulate the water to flow and return towards the shoreline of Israel. In other words, water is not actually being stolen because it always belongs to the Dead Sea. The only thing being done is balancing the water. Okay? Am I making myself perfectly clear? That's precisely what these factories are doing over there in the Dead Sea area. Further south, as one would expect, is the bustling industrial area filled with various businesses. Potassium is a key factor here. Here is potassium, a lot of potassium. Avalasperina contains potassium. Most of them are pharmaceutical companies, and they are from the Dead Sea area that take that product to different parts of the world. Let's keep exploring the Dead Sea area. Here we are continuing our exciting exploration of the beautiful Dead Sea area. Look, if you observe closely, you can see the gutters much better here. You can see them there, what I was telling you about. Regarding the channel, it is worth noting that on the Jordan side, there is still a significant amount of water present. On Israel's side, there is an imbalance. That is to say, like, it would be something like this, look, like my hand, see, something like that. The task is to redirect the water from this finger back to the other finger in the upper part. So how do you make a gutter? Are we seeing a channel being created or constructed right here? To effectively return the water here, it must not be displaced or removed. It is directly brought in, not flattened by excavation. It resembles a tunnel but isn't steep enough to be one. I'm doing this as an example. It would be something like this. So, what you see now is precisely why all of this is here. It's incredibly dry over there, especially compared to how it was about 10 years ago. The area we see was once water covered, and it's remarkable how quickly the Dead Sea is drying up. The drying out has reasons, as certain factors contribute to it staying in that state. The Bible states that some areas of the earth will remain saltwater, but another part will cease to be saltwater entirely. A prophecy from the book of Ezekiel must be fulfilled. And if you really pay close attention, I'm going to demonstrate something important to you right now, so come here. Here, just right nearby, that area over there is no longer filled with salt water. Hang tight, I'm about to reach that point. I'm going to share some important insights about that topic, so let's continue. We're going to take the route, and we're going to keep going. And there is Jerusalem right ahead, so unfortunately, we are not going to reach it. We will keep exploring the Dead Sea area. As we continue to steadily move forward on our journey, now we are heading northward, which means we are traveling from the southern direction. We are making our way north as we continue to move forward on our journey. I want to seize this opportunity while you enjoy the view. And they are carefully considering the challenging desert route. The area referred to is the Araba region. But at the same time, it also includes the area on the right, where you just saw the truck pass by and where the cars from the front are coming. All that entire area, specifically the area located on the left. Remember that I have problems with right and left. The left side, right where that large truck is coming from, over there on the left, is where you need to look. It is the vast and captivating area of the diverse territories located within the stunning Judean desert region. Remember our deep conversations and the sharing of our thoughts together. We are discussing the teachings and lessons we are studying from the book of Daniel. We have observed on the map that the last remaining tribe of Israel, the territories of Judea, Judah, and Simeon, they were the ones who had remained inhabiting the territory of Israel until they faced deportation to Babylon. This is simply a parenthesis. Returning to the region surrounding the Salt Sea, also known as the Dead Sea, or the Eastern Sea, or the Gulf of Aqaba, always remember those terms, because those terms, you will find 3 of those significant examples in the scriptures. The Bible refers as the Eastern Sea, Sea of Araba, and Salt Sea. Those are the 3 terms that appear in the writings. It does not appear as the Dead Sea. In Hebrew, it is called Yam Amelach. The Salt Sea is often referred to, but it is not commonly called the Dead Sea. In Hebrew, it's not referred to as the Dead Sea, as I previously mentioned. Rather, it's known as the Sea of Salt due to its high salinity. This is the language in Hebrew. In Spanish, it is referred to as the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is its English name. We don't know for certain who was ultimately responsible for assigning it that particular name. But today this region is recognized and known worldwide as the iconic Dead Sea area. The mountain you see over there in the distance, I'm going to show it to you now. I'm going to deviate a little, I'm going to stray a bit so that you all can see. It is perhaps the most famous and well-known mountain in this particular area, located within the expansive desert sector. Because it is renowned as the historic mountain of Masada, once there existed a grand fortress known as the impressive fortress of King Herod, a remarkable stronghold of ancient times. He owned a charming house there. He had specifically designed and created a cozy vacation spot in that beautiful location. And well, it's an incredible place that we are going to come visit to. We will embark on an exciting climb at the historic fortress of Masada. You can ascend either by cable car or hiking. by a winding route known as the Serpent's Path. We're not leaving yet, I'm just taking a brief detour to show you something. How the majestic mountain appears over there in the distance, framed by the clear blue sky. Hold on a moment, I'm going to park it on this side of the street, and then I'll show it to you right here from this spot. That specific thing you see is exactly what it is. Now let's get a little closer, a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. That landform that resembles a plateau, which I believe is called meseta in Spanish. Masada is a fortress. If you look closely at this specific location, here is the exact area where the entrance would be situated. Right there, that specific spot would be the main entrance. To reach the destination, what you need to do is take a scenic cable car ride up to the top there. I don't know if you can see it up there. So once you're up there, you gradually become familiar with the entire area within that sector. It's truly incredible. He definitely had multiple reception halls available there for events. There were several rooms and there were various food departments available. There were grand headquarters and there were strong fortresses. No fortresses, sorry, there were places where water could be retained. The ancient Romans developed an impressive infrastructure system. How to carefully bring the water and deposit it precisely in that location, let's make plans to visit him another time. And you will see how incredible that place is. And what the Romans were already remarkably capable of achieving in ancient times. Let's continue then through the area of the Salty Sea. And now let's turn around carefully and keep going, because I want to tell you something while we're driving. So, to recap, we are now leaving the grand exit of the historic fortress of Masada. And look at the sign. Look at the sign we have right in front of us. They're going to meet soon, remember? First you will see it being announced here. On this side right here, what you see in front of you, a small hand creates another small hand. That little hand gesture is the famous stop sign. But here, the little hand symbolizes that even if no car approaches from any direction, you must bring the vehicle's four wheels to a complete and absolute stop before proceeding any further. Only when you come to a stop can you move forward again. If they don't comply, they could end up facing a hefty fine. The sign they have right in front says Jerusalem on one side. It questions why Eilat is mentioned, because to the north we are going to Jerusalem and to the south we are going to Eilat. The route we are currently traveling on is Route 90. Let's continue. Once upon a time, right in front of us, there was a very small, quaint airport located in the beautiful Dead Sea area. Starting today, you will begin to see various military planes stationed here. F-15 and F-16 jets are flying extremely low around this area because they utilize the sector as a valuable testing area and a practical space for gaining hands-on experience. The area suffers from a severe lack of residents, leading to an absence of population. There are some kibbutzim, and one of those kibbutzim is the kibbutz of En-Gedi. By the way, the term En-Gedi is indeed mentioned in the Bible, and it is a topic that we will also thoroughly discuss concerning the subject of En-Gedi. Now, what I wanted to mention is the industry. How does the Dead Sea industry work? The Dead Sea industry would seem to be, as I mentioned at one point, this sector is entirely lifeless. However, it is indeed a location that generates an enormous, substantial, and significant amount of money. I previously discussed Potasso at one point. Unique materials from the Dead Sea are utilized in this context. That is, from the water to generate a unique anti-corrosive solution for the metal sheets. E.g. of vehicles. The vehicles of the Audi company use material from here, the Dead Sea, to apply anti-corrosive agents to vehicles. However, it is clear that the most compelling aspect of this discussion is indeed the issues surrounding various creams. The creams available here are truly the absolute best of the best. Body creams. Everything related to skin rejuvenation, including treatments for psoriasis and more. Here, for example, there are many incredible things. The area surrounding the Dead Sea is known for its exceptionally salty sea. But salt is not used for edible purposes. Salt is not utilized here in the same manner as it is in various other salt fields around the region. Here, it is not used for edible purposes, intended for potassium needs. The quality of water in various creams is truly exceptional. The southern zone is where the factories are situated. The factories located at the Dead Sea are indeed the ones responsible to cover all topics about creams worldwide. And obviously this has generated substantial fortunes for many individuals worldwide, significantly improved income generation for the country. Nowadays, with the significant global crisis we are currently facing, tourism in Israel has completely halted. Everyone is affected. Therefore, there are hardly any people arriving. Then, the entire cream industry has come to a standstill. Nowadays, what is widely used is international sales. Through the vast expanse of the internet and what various people can buy remotely. But obviously, it's clearly not exactly the same. On the other hand, there are also various places here in the region where honey is widely and frequently used. The fruit, known in Hebrew as chamar, is dates. What is known as the honey of the Bible, the land that flows with milk and honey. I once made a thoughtful comment about the show we performed in Jericho. In ancient Jericho, I explained the true nature and significance of honey to them. Honey is not what people typically believe it is, but rather it is the honey of the dates that is speaking, that resemble you in many ways, and perhaps you can spot them here now, appearing like small palm trees, swaying gently. These are the ones in charge of making dates, date plants. Moses was witnessing the flow of golden honey from that spot. Moses was present in the territory we are currently located in. In present-day Jordan, which was historically known as the land of Edom, that is to say, to our right, now it remains to our right, he was in a scenic spot on Mount Nebo, enjoying views of the vast landscape, the beautiful place where we are walking now. In other words, he was located on the opposite side of the Dead Sea region. Remember that even the faithful people of Israel, he wandered for many years in the vast desert while they reached the other side. When the Israelites managed to successfully cross the Jordan River under the courageous leadership of Joshua, that is situated just a few kilometers to the north of our location. Let's head over to that specific place we are going now. Reflecting on past developments regarding the Dead Sea industry, it's an industry that generates an impressive amount, a lot of money, but the prolonged drought affecting the Dead Sea has also led to significant environmental chaos and disruption in the area. The Dead Sea is drying up, and that is drying in a highly advanced manner, very quickly and efficiently. The beautiful Dead Sea is gradually vanishing, which is remarkable. Every year, we eagerly come back to watch the water slowly recede. And I retreat, and I retreat, and I retreat. And numerous examples include various spa centers, among others. Centers where they would establish facilities to enable individuals to swim. Some areas here aren't safe for swimming. Not everywhere to be. The distance to the water indicates it's drying up, and these large structures were left situated far from the water. People are losing interest in these structures. He must walk to get water. That it can be conveniently filled with water again. It depends on the rain. And it relies solely on the one and only source of fresh water that the Dead Sea receives, which is essential for its unique ecosystem. That would be the Jordan River. Sadly, the Jordan River made the decision to seal it. That is, not to seal it, but to close it. To effectively put a stop to this issue and prevent water from leaking into the fragile Dead Sea area. Therefore, the Dead Sea is not receiving any food. So the only source of information was the area of the Jordan River. And it is no longer receiving vital water from the flowing Jordan River. Clearly, if they permitted the Jordan River to be opened up for access. So they had to make some sort of decision regarding the matter. Let's see what we can do. The decision was ultimately made for it to resemble the water of the Dead Sea. You cannot drink the Sea of Galilee. It is more important to keep the Sea of Galilee filled with water, and not the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is now being used for various commercial activities and not for matters concerning life care and well-being. For instance, to hydrate. Here in this particular area, when you are in the vast desert zone, more precisely in this place where we are, the deepest place on the face of the earth, we must take at least one step forward, at least. Consuming 3 liters of water each day, that's just the absolute minimum required. You might start having frequent headaches. It starts to feel like a person begins to feel unwell. The intense heat is really beginning to take a toll on him, and it's affecting his well-being. But not only does the heat increase, but it also begins to dehydrate. And there were numerous cases of people who ultimately ended up severely dehydrated here. And they ultimately face numerous health problems by the end of their journey. Almost there, just a little further to go now, to my desired stopping point. And I wanted to take a moment to show you something else. But you know what? We're excited to keep a fun surprise for you, because we managed to obtain a very special permit. A special permit that is rarely granted to anyone at all. It is a unique permit, where you will wonder. First, there's something I need to explain. What I didn't explain to them is that there are no boats in there. There are no vessels in the Dead Sea. No boat is available, so fishing cannot take place. Boats are pointless without fishing. There is absolutely nothing. Who would choose to float in the unique Dead Sea while relying on a boat for support? Engines also get ruined. Salinization causes engines to fail. So people do not have permission to access that area there, to have the ability to navigate in front of boats and manage all those responsibilities involved. Here's what I wanted to show you before anything else. Understand what I'm saying? The undeniable fact of the destroyed local industries, because on one hand we have the industry, everything associated with the Dead Sea is truly excellent and remarkable. But here in the past, and it is not in the past, I don't have to talk for a long time. I'm referring to a specific time period from 3 years ago. 2 years ago, there used to be several restaurants here. There was a spa, massage and water center, and everything dried up. The expansive sea receded and became distant. All has now been entirely shut off. Then it became a no man's land. There is a great investment opportunity, spas and more are available. And it all tragically ended up in ruins, which is quite sad. The truth, sadly, in ruins. As we return to the interesting topic of boats and their various types, boats are not allowed there. Thus, to clarify, it simply cannot be accomplished. But someone I met a few years ago, around the time of '85, and I don't want to get ahead of this, it seemed to have a certain calling to visit the unique Dead Sea region area, start investigating it repeatedly, and eagerly set off on a thrilling adventure in a small, sturdy boat. Then, he is the only person who has the required permission. A solitary boat commonly discovered across the Dead Sea. Just one shot and then he officially becomes a captain. Experienced individual, and get ready. It will be a one-of-a-kind experience where we are going to enter the building in the Dead Sea area, and we are going to embark on an adventure to discover incredible treasures that nearly nobody has ever set foot in that remote and mysterious place. Before we venture into the places we are about to enter, that's why I told them at one point, and I think at the beginning of the video, that we are going to various exciting places that are integral components of the rich landscape found within the book of Genesis. In other words, individuals who were not present at the time, we will finally be able to step onto those places. And this experience, as you can imagine, of course, we would like to take this opportunity to share it with you in the Genesis Museum. As we bravely continue our journey toward new and exciting horizons ahead, the Judean desert area, the Larava Desert, the area of the Dead Sea, Salt Sea, however you prefer it. I would like to identify it in a way that could potentially be clearer and more memorable for future reference. To show you a few Bible verses where you can find this information, for example, Genesis 14:3 details how all these groups came together as allies in the valley of Sidon, which is known as the Salt Sea, can also be found mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy. And look how interesting what it says here in Deuteronomy chapter 3. Verse 17 says this, also in Larava, that is the place where we are. Now with the Jordan, when it says the Jordan, it is referring to the river. Jordan is located in the northern region, and its boundary will be defined by the iconic Dead Sea, which is to say the Jordan River. And here begins the Dead Sea. That is to say, the end will be the limit. There, the border will be delineated by the expansive Dead Sea. From the picturesque Kinneret region, the inhabitants predominantly communicate in Spanish, but the Kinneret in Hebrew refers to the stunningly beautiful Sea of Galilee. From the majestic Kinneret to the vast Sea of Larava and the tranquil Sea of Galilee, the Jordan River flows up to the expansive Sea of Larava, as it is noted, at the very foot of the steep slopes of Pisgah, leading to a beautiful landscape. East, the book of Numbers also says 34:12, and the border. It will descend to the Jordan River, and its boundary will be the Salt Sea, the same. This will be your designated land according to its clearly defined borders, and so we will proceed to that location. Explore various Bible verses that continue to resonate with us today about. There is a prophetic message that is relevant and speaks to us about this. In this discussion about future events, I would like to reference the book of Ezekiel, specifically Ezekiel chapter 47, for further insights and understanding. Here it is in front of us, and we're going to take the time to read it. Look closely at what it says. It compelled me to return to the entrance of the house, and behold, clear waters were flowing gently from under the wooden threshold of the old house toward the east, because the light began to shine through the open door. The house's east-facing facade overlooked the flowing waters below, the right side of the south house of the altar, and took me out through the door path of the north and compelled me to take the longer route around the winding outside path. Outside the door, I observed waters flowing from the path that leads eastward. Please focus closely on the right side, as what we are about to witness is truly remarkable. The man went out toward the east, holding a cord in his hand, and measured 1,000 cubits. And he made me pass through the waters up to my ankles. He measured another 1,000 cubits in me. He brought me through the waters up to my knees, then measured another 1,000 and made me go through. To pass through the waters up to the backs, measured another 1,000, and it was already a river that I did not. The waters had risen significantly, allowing safe passage through the river. I could only get across by swimming, and he said to me, "Have you seen, Son of Man?" Then he took me, and it made me return along the riverbank. And as I was returning, I saw that on the riverbank there were countless tall, leafy trees on either side of the narrow path. I was so lost in thought that I didn't pay attention to my surroundings at all. I know if you look closely, you can see that there are tall trees on either side. And he told me these waters flow to the eastern region, will gradually descend from the Araba mountain range and subsequently enter the vast expanse of the sea, ultimately merging into the surrounding waters. The waters will be healed, restoring health and vitality to all living souls that swim within them. Wherever one ventures into the waters of these two rivers, there will be abundant life and countless thriving fish. For having entered those waters there, they will receive healing, and everything that lives will live. Upon entering this winding river, the skilled fishermen will be positioned alongside its banks, and they will come from the region of Engedi. Pay close attention, because it is precisely at the very spot where we currently find ourselves. Currently, we are reading the scriptures here in Engedi, and we plan to remain in this place until it indicates otherwise. Here, from Engedi to Englain, will be his dedicated net vendor, catering specifically to his unique species. The fish will be abundant when the mysterious sea reveals its voice. The text refers to the vast Mediterranean Sea along beautiful coasts. The swamps and lagoons in Tel Aviv will regrettably remain uncleaned and unchanged for the foreseeable future. Salinas, as we said before, that water will remain even as salt and next to the river in On both sides of the tranquil riverbank, a diverse array of vibrant fruit trees will flourish their lush leaves. They will never fall, nor will their fruit be lacking. In due time it will ripen, because their waters flow out. From the sacred sanctuary, its abundant fruit will serve as nourishing food, and its healing leaf will be utilized for medicinal purposes. What it tells us is the following in summary. We said that the waters of the Dead Sea are used for skincare nowadays. Skincare includes potassium, along with a few other essential things for overall health. It indicates that if the vast salty sea were to completely dry up, the Bible informs us. She mentions that the leaves will continue to be utilized for medicinal purposes. However, she also tells us that the area's water won't completely dry up. Instead, it will be replaced. There was fresh water left because it said there were many fishermen and that it was full of fish and all kinds of levels, or how it would be said of names or of fish species, thus comparing it to the Mediterranean Sea. Imagine the number of fish there will be in this area if we do this today. We look here and realize that there are no fish. No fish because it's the sea. So what happened with the Bible? Is there an error in the Bible? Is there something wrong? It's working as it should. Something happened, perhaps the prophet did not interpret well what God meant. The reality is that when the gentleman says something and he fulfills it. Even if it takes years, he fulfills it. Look, this was said by the prophet a few thousand years ago, and just today we are witnessing this biblical prophecy. To open up before our eyes, because just as the salty sea is, there is something happening today, a phenomenon called drying. Volanism in the Hebrew language, which wants them to be like, they are wells that open but are swallowed by the earth, saying there is something. That which pulls it down, and that which pulls it down is what is. Making it visible is another water that finds me well, incredible sweet water. Incredible. If there is already life, there are tadpoles, there are little fish, there are trees around. We're going to go in there and see these golanin. We're going to see these wells. And we are going to see the life that is being generated around these wells. But not only that, I said that we are going to go inside. We are going to, let's enter the sea. We are going to sail in the salty sea area, but that's for you to know. Let's save it for the next episode, meaning we are going to stop here. Here we are. And we are going to go to a second part of the Dead Sea because there is a lot. Much more for us to learn. So don't miss our next episode of the Dead Sea. And as we always say, getting to know Israel with the Bible in hand. So I bid you farewell. Thank you for joining us on this adventure of exploring the area. Dead Sea, but don't miss the next episode because this is it. We arrived reading the prophecy. Now we want to see it. We want to see the one that is. What is happening and how it is unfolding before our eyes like this. Without further ado, I greet you from here, bless you, and send you a virtual hug. As we always say, shalom and blessings from Israel, the land of the Bible. They also forget those who are not yet members of the Academy to take advantage. The opportunities that these networks and this entire virtual world give us today. Being able to study the scriptures from the comfort of your home no longer has to be taken lightly. A plane to come and study here at the university in Israel, but you can study from home with just a click. You already have it. The resources from the land of Israel in his house, and that he goes there below will go to have the website where you can access it. And if you are a lead pastor, if so, a person who wants to delve deeply into the knowledge of the scriptures, then the Academy is designed exclusively for you. see you in the next episode, and we'll see you in the second episode that is coming up. The coasts of the Tel Aviv area, its swamps and its lagoons do not heal. The salt flats will be cleaned up, but as previously mentioned, water will still remain. Being salt and along the riverbank on either side, all kinds of will grow. Fruit trees. Their leaves will never fall, nor will their fruit be lacking. It will ripen in its time for their healing. What medicine tells us is summarized as follows. We said that the waters of the Dead Sea are used today for medicinal care. Care from the skin, potassium, and a few things for health, which means that in the event that the Dead Sea dries up, the Bible tells us that even the leaves are going to be for medicine, okay? On the other hand, he tells us that it's not that he is going to not all the water will be removed from the area, but instead there will be water left. Sweet, because it says there were many fishermen and it was full of fish and all kinds of levels, or how to say names or species of fish like this, comparing it to the Mediterranean Sea. Just imagine the quantity of fish that will be in this sector. If we look here today, we realize that there are no fish. There are no fish because it's salty seawater. So what happened? There is an error in the Bible. Something is not working as it should. It should work there. Something happened that perhaps the prophet didn't interpret. Well, what God meant to say is that when the Lord says something, the Lord fulfills it. Even if it takes years, the Lord fulfills it. And look, this was said by the prophet a few thousand years ago, and just recently to the day of today. We are witnessing this biblical prophecy unfold before us. Our eyes, because just as the salty sea is drying up, there is something, a phenomenon that is happening today called controversy in the Hebrew language, that wants to be like, they are wells that open, yet the earth swallows them, indicating a deeper force at play. It pulls it down, and what pulls it down is what is there. Making it clear is another water that I showered with, incredible fresh water. Incredible. If there is already life, there are tadpoles, there are little fish, there are trees around. We're going to go in there, we're going to see these golanin, we're going to see these wells, and we are going to see the life that is being generated around these wells. But not only that, but I said that we are going to go inside, let's go into the sea, we are going to sail in the salty sea area, but that's for you to, let's save it for the next episode, meaning we are going to stop here. Here we are, and we are going to go to a second part of the Dead Sea, because there is a lot. Much, much, much more for us to learn. So don't miss our next episode of the Dead Sea. And as we always say, getting to know Israel with the Bible in hand. So I bid you farewell. Thank you for joining us on this adventure of exploring the area. Dead Sea, but don't miss the next episode, because this is it. We arrived reading the prophecy. Now we want to see what it is. What is happening and how it is unfolding before us. So, without further ado, I greet you from here, bless you, and send you a virtual hug. As we always say, shalom and blessings from Israel, the land of the Bible, right? Let those who are not yet members of the Academy of the AL also be forgotten. Take advantage of the opportunities that these networks and everything they offer us today. Virtual world of being able to study the scriptures from the comfort of your home. They have to take a plane to come and study here at the university, and Israel can study from home with just a click. You already have it. the resources from the land of Israel in your house, and that it will go down there will to have the website where you can access it. And if you are a lead pastor, if so, a person who wants to delve deeply into the knowledge of the scriptures, then the Academy is designed exclusively for you. See you in the next episode, and see you in the second episode of The Seed. Dead blessings. Shalom, shalom from Israel, the land of the Bible. Bye-bye. Very well, look, we are where we just read. It's here in Gedi. As you can see in Gedi, we are not allowed to pass through here, so please take note. That is closed. There says no entry for walkers and people who walk over there. The beach area used to be right here. Notice that there is one there. Service station. Now, I don't know if you can see the light poles over there. Like, the visible track here was created by something heavy that has fallen recently. Here where these cars are passing, this is new. The route used to go through there directly and continued towards there. They had to make this detour. The roundabout leads up to that place, and then they re-enter. And they know why they had to do this, because there are little flying things here. Wells that swallow the earth. Look, the road is blocked. There are houses here that they have stayed back there. Look, it has been swallowed by the earth. The land in this entire area is completely dangerous because of the land. Start to crumble and don't get lost. Don't get lost, because look at what we have. To explain to them why this happens and what causes it, and it is there in